Kevin.
Hey guys, I am so happy to welcome Maria Elena. She's absolutely wonderful. You will love her so very much. So Maria Elena and we had the great pleasure to meet each other in person. It was last year during the summer. So we both have been certified by Mind Valley and EverCoach. And we enjoyed a wonderful event called Super Coach, where we had the possibility to meet in person. And we had so much good time together. But yeah, you know me, guys, now. I can talk for hours. So before I start, I would love for you, Maria Elena, to just say a few words, introduce yourself in the way you want.
So first of all, thank you so much, Kevin. It's a pleasure always to invest time with you. I don't like to say spend time because this is not time spent. This is time invested. So thank you for having me here. I define myself as an intimacy and identity coach, and especially working with kink and queer people, inspiring them to come out to themselves, because that was my life experience. And so I live in Spain, and I have 2 children, and one of them is a transgender, non-binary person, which is also related to all this intimacy and identity coaching. So we will talk about that.
Yeah, and I love that. I love how broad your view on the topic is. And it's one of the reasons why I wanted to invite you and have that amazing chat that we will have. I know it's going to be a lot of fun and very deep at the same time. So let's dig into this. And very first, I would like to quote an extract of your bio, of your about section in on LinkedIn. You say, I was living my sensual and sexual intimacy with guilt and shame, criticizing and judging people who did what I secretly did, people who lived the lifestyle I secretly lived. And I feel it's so inspiring. I believe so many people are doing the same, are hiding themselves. They are living a kind of double life, or maybe even more than double, maybe a triple or tenfold lives. And yeah, I feel what you did, the way you did it, is incredible. And the way I see it is really and you mentioned that you learn to stop cheating and to accept yourself and free yourself to live your life you wanted.
Let me point one thing. I stopped cheating to myself.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, sorry, it's what I meant, but that's a very important point. Thank you for mentioning. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Yes. The thing is that I was living that life. For me, queer is identity, and kink is lifestyle. Let me explain those words, because I don't know if everyone understands it. Queer is another way to talk about the LGBTQ plus community. And kink is related to BDSM, so bondage, domination, submission, fetish, and any other lifestyle, sexual games, sexual interaction. So you can use the name you want. So let's say that my intimacy was not the normal, if I can use the word normal. I don't like it so much, but okay, let's say not what is officially accepted for the society. So I was living this life in secret and not enjoying it fully, because I was feeling, okay, I felt that something was wrong with me. It's like, this is not correct. This is not accepted. And the moment I accept myself and I see myself and say, okay, there's nothing wrong with me. I mean, I'm enjoying this lifestyle. The people who is involved in my intimacy are also enjoying this lifestyle. Everybody has all the information and everybody agrees with that. So what's the problem?
I love that. I love that so much. What you mentioned. Before I continue, I just want to say hi to Natasha and Sia, and maybe there are even more people watching right now in live. I have no idea. The only people I can see right now are the people that leave comments. So if you want to be mentioned, feel free to comment. But Natasha and Sia, thank you for joining and welcome. And no worries, you're just at your own time, Sia. You're not late at all. And yeah, I feel it's absolutely beautiful what you mentioned, because to me, it's real freedom. Like whenever you do something that is not hurting anyone,
Yeah.
I believe you should be free to do that. You should be allowed to do that, as long as it doesn't hurt anyone, it doesn't bother anyone. You just do that with grown-ups that know what they are doing, that enjoy that as well. And if everybody is happy, who has to put their nose into that? That's my belief. Like, I don't want to put any beliefs on anyone. You know me. It's really not my style. But I feel like, come on, guys. Those people are not hurting anyone. Maybe they're a little bit hurting each other, and that's not for us to judge. Like, apparently, they are enjoying themselves, so why not just let them be and have fun between each other? So yeah, as I mentioned, I never explored that specific kink area. I've been curious. I guess most people at one time or another, they at least looked at it like, intriguing. And most people, I would assume, would be like, "Ooh, I don't want to go there." And many people would judge it heavily. And some people might be like, you know what? Let's explore. It might be fun. And I believe it's what happened to you, right?
Yes, I started like this. This is very personal and intimate, but okay, we are talking about intimacy.
Well,
so
I put a disclaimer. It can go spicy. It could go spicy, so they better come prepared.
Okay, so let me give you a little bit of context. I was married for more than 20 years. And as I said before, I have 2 children. But I can say that I discovered sex after divorcing my husband. It was 8 years ago. At that time, I didn't know much about sex, so only the basics to have children. that was my sexual experience at that time. And I said, okay, I really want to know what sex is. I didn't know anything. So I start with really beginner's mind, really curious, in a learning mode. So I started trying. everything. I remember meeting some people and telling me, what do you like in a sexual context, you know? What do you like? And my answer was, I don't know. What's the offer? What can I do? It's like going into a restaurant and the waiter asking you, what do you want? Okay, give me the menu. I don't know. I don't know what's the offer. So I started like this from scratch, let's say that. So I started trying, and I had the chance to meet really great people. Some of them are now really good friends of mine, and I learned a lot. So my answer was always, okay, let's try. Let's try. I remember one day, for example, a man telling me, I am married. That's what he told me. I am married, and my wife and I are searching for a woman to do a threesome. Are you open to that? And my answer was, okay, that will be my first time. I don't know what would be my reaction, but okay, let's try. Let's try. And I also went with no preconceptions in mind. What should I do? What should I not do? Is that correct? I will be just with him, also with her. No, I just went with the flow and really enjoy. But, you know, still with this idea in mind, maybe for cultural reasons or educational reasons, feeling that, yes, it was an experience, but not realizing what was happening. And that's why I told you one day, Kevin, that I didn't realize I was included in that queer community. Some years after that, in a conversation with my daughter, I shared with her this experience. And I remember telling her, you know, I enjoy interacting with him and also with her, but I'm not into women. And she stopped and watched me and said, Mama, are you stupid? I said, what? Mama, can you please accept that you are bisexual and there is nothing wrong with that? And I say, oh, what? I am what? No. So, because I didn't know what bisexual mean. I thought it was 50%. So, and I said, no, I prefer men. Mama, but there are many things and many ways to be bisexual. And it's also what I learned with her about transgender. The small things I knew about transgender people, I realized that they're all wrong. When she came out to me as a transgender, non-binary person, when she was 16, that was 4 years ago, I didn't know anything about it. And the small things I knew were completely wrong. So I'm learning, and the more people I meet, the more I learn. And it's great. Learning how there is no one way to live intimacy or to live sexuality. Each one of us has their own way, their own styles, and there's nothing wrong with any of us.
I love so much what you said, and say, yeah. So I already knew that story, but it's cracking me up once again. And I never had the chance to meet your daughter yet, but I love her so very much. She's very smart, obviously. And what the analogy that came to me when she helped you reframe your views around bisexuality. Well, is for me like food. Like if you're omnivorous, it doesn't mean you have to eat exactly 50% vegetables and 50% meat. You can mix them up, and you can eat seeds, you can eat dairy products, you don't have to stick to a very strict regimen where you would exactly match. And it's very interesting, like, we during our training as coaches, and then in our practices, we explore a lot beliefs, right?
Yes.
And and that's one of the common themes of personal growth, basically, to revisit your beliefs, to drop the ones that are not serving you, to empower even more the ones that are serving you. And I feel it's beautiful. Like with the help of your daughter, you've been able to reframe a word that you didn't fully understand, or you had some specific beliefs around it, and you totally changed the game, and then you owned it, you claimed it in a way that felt right to you, or at least that's how I perceive it. You let me know if I'm wrong, but
yeah, the thing is that we have this idea that well, in my case, when I was younger, teenager, we never talk about sex and intimacy at home. So I didn't have much information about that. And I remember my son, when he was 10 or 11, learning in school, all these sexual organs, everything. I remember one day telling him, I am here with you, for you. Ask any questions you need. Because it was very funny at that time, watching him playing to deliver a baby. It's like, Mama, I'm pregnant, and now I will deliver that baby. Oh, it hurts. And he was playing like that. And I said, okay, if you have any questions around that. And I remember coming to me and saying, Mama, I have a question. Okay, tell me. When did you lose your virginity? And my very first reaction was, okay, that's very personal. But then immediately I say, okay, Maria Elena, if you are telling him to ask questions and he came with that question, please answer. And I just answered, telling the age I had at that time. And the story stopped there. So there was no more questions for him. So let's talk about sex at home with completely freedom. There is nothing to hide. And there is another thing. When we talk about intimacy and identity, we always think about interacting with another person. But the first step is the connection with ourselves. I mean, as you said at the very beginning, I stopped cheating myself when I was aware that I was lying to myself. I was not really open to myself, is when I suffered. And this was about me. Discovering that was really a big change for me. The other person or the other people involved, they were just mirroring me, you know, but intimacy starts with oneself. If I'm not comfortable with myself, I cannot be comfortable with anyone else.
I love that so much. And yeah, see, I knew we would go very deep. So I knew that. I just want to take a little pause. So, Oli, thank you so much for joining us. I see you, man. And we have also LinkedIn users. So yeah, we can't see you guys. We don't know who you are, but you might just add your name. But we love your comments and the way you are nurturing the conversation. And by the way, guys, if you have any questions for Maria Elena, feel free to post some. We would love to know. So I guess Maria Elena will have the right to to choose to not answer a question if it goes too far.
Okay.
Probably, I would assume she would be comfortable to answer it, but maybe the LinkedIn, restriction might be again that. So we probably have to stay kind of PG here, but we will see
Okay.
that.
So, Kevin, let's give the audience the freedom to ask, and
Yeah,
let's
I
keep
love that.
for ourselves the freedom to not answer.
Yeah, absolutely. And in any case, you always can reach out to Maria Elena if you want some deeper answers or more private answers. You can definitely connect with her directly. It would be the best way. But yeah, let's keep the conversation going. And yeah, just a little remark. I know you will resonate with that because I'm pretty sure you know that. A band as well. When you mentioned, let's talk about sex, I thought about that a band in the 80s or maybe 90s, Salt and Pepper, that they had that song, Let's Talk About Sex. And it's an amazing song. And actually, when I was a teen, it's one of the very first time I was in contact with sex. That song is very iconic to me because it was like, wait, what? Some people are allowed to do that. And I discovered sex very late, like just for fun. The very first person I kissed, I was 18, which in France is extremely late. I don't know where you live, guys, and in which country you are. But in France, kissing a girl at 18, it's very, very late already. So yeah, I discovered all those things quite late. I had like a very intense catching up, but yeah, I was definitely a late bloomer. But yeah, I would love to explore a little bit. Yeah, go ahead.
There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, who says that when is too early or when is too late?
Oh, my hormones told me that. My hormone monster was telling me that I felt miserable. But yeah, that's for another story. But it nurtured my identity as a weak man and as a victim. Actually, the fact that I found myself ugly and all many different things that made me feel miserable. So actually, it would have been a good thing for me if I had the chance to have a first kiss much earlier in my life. But that's perfectly okay. I realize now everything happened in with that specific sequence for a reason, and I was supposed to go through that pain back then, so I could blossom the way I blossomed in the last years. So everything is absolutely perfect. No, I see it. But believe me, when I was 15, I was craving for that first kiss that wasn't coming. But that's okay. Like, you know, that's how life is, right? We have a very limited control over our lives. And
Yeah.
I didn't try to steal a kiss like other people might have done. So I played fair, and I feel it's the very best way to go. And yeah, Natasha mentioned that, right? That to have, you know, acceptance, like it's one of the very first, one of the very first pillars of sexuality, I believe, and intimacy, and just genuine relationships, to build something, to have the certainty that the person in front of us agrees what we are offering.
Exactly.
And there's
Exactly.
I'd love to explore a little bit some TV shows with you, because I know we discussed about one very specific Spanish show that I love very much, and I'm so glad that you watched it as well. But there's another one which is, for me, is extremely important, and it's linked to the core that core conversation, and that show is called 13 Reasons Why. So it's a show on Netflix. It's
Okay.
for me, it's one of the very best shows I watched ever. And story short, it's the story of a woman, a fresh man, I believe, at the university, that commits suicide. And after she did that, there are 13 tapes that she shares with the 13 people that were responsible for her death, that led her to commit suicide.
Okay.
And it's, as you can imagine, it's not that fun. It's talking about very deep and very sensitive topics, like suicide to begin with, talking about rape, about bullying, about many very heavy topics. But it does it in an extremely powerful way, I believe. It's one of the very best ways I ever saw that topic covered. And I've been a victim of bullying, right? It's part of my origin story. I've been bullied for 8 years consistently. And I never saw it that way. And watching that show, I realized that in some parts of my life, I've been bullying other people as well. I've been on the other side as well. And I didn't realize that before that show. And I was like, oh shit, I've been a bully as well. I've been both, actually. And being a victim for some time didn't make me any opportunity. I didn't have any right to cross the line and become the bad guy. Like, it's no excuse. It could be an explanation. You know that famous sentence from Vishen Lakiani: hurt people, which is extremely powerful and so very true. But it's an explanation. It's in no way an excuse. So it helped me realize, shit, I hurt people. I didn't realize back then, but I did it. So yeah, it's fascinating. I believe at the core, it's even more important when sex is involved and intimacy is involved, I believe. But in any kind of relationship, we want to have that two-way street where we can communicate healthily, and we want to be sure the person feels safe in front of us. So yeah, I don't know what you feel about that.
You know, the level of suicide or intentions to suicide attempts in the transgender community, well, in the queer community in general, or the Kink community, is huge. I remember that was the biggest fear for my daughter. When we start talking about that, she was sharing to me some statistics about more than 50% of transgender people attempting suicide, especially during the teenagers, attempting or thinking about suicide. And I was terrified at that time. I couldn't believe that. And part of that is, again, is not talking about those things. It's about feeling that everything which is different is wrong, and we get to fight against that. And I remember the biggest fear of my daughter saying at that time, saying, "Mama, I tried to be the perfect sister, the perfect daughter, the perfect friend, the perfect student, the perfect singer, the perfect musician, the perfect anything, so that I can be accepted as I am." And I stopped her and I said, no, don't put so much pressure on you. You deserve acceptance for who you are anytime and anywhere. You don't need to be perfect at all in order to be accepted. So please release that pressure, that need to be perfect. And I met other people like her. It's like trying to be perfect in other areas of their lives so that their intimacy and their identity can be accepted. And this is terrible.
I so agree with that. Just yeah, I want to say hi to New that joined us. Thank you for joining, New. I hope you are appreciating the conversation. And yeah, with that different thing. So yeah, it's extremely interesting that you mentioned that, you know, that you were afraid of a higher suicide rate, you know, because of being gay. And I just read today a study from the CDC in the US. That apparently LGBT people tend to be more victim of loneliness. And like loneliness is one of the core of what I'm fighting through my program and through my work as a coach, right? To help people find the very best relationships to elevate their social life, either amazing friends or incredible connections to help them expand their impact. But I feel like I didn't know that, and I was like, "Wow, okay, the figures, the numbers are quite high." And at the same time, it was sad, but it didn't surprise me that much. I was like, "Yeah, like come on, they've been bullied for centuries, millennia. Like nowadays, it starts to get a little bit better." Thanks to amazing movements like the Gay Pride, which I feel so fascinating. I am huge fan of the Gay Pride. Like for me, it's an incredible inspiration. So things have moved. Fortunately, it apparently in many countries nowadays it's much easier to be LGBT. Any flavor, any tribe, any family you feel like in the huge LGBT family, but still there's so much to do. It's still very difficult because most people don't understand. Like I include myself in the LGBT family at the ally, right? I am a very passionate ally of the LGBT family, which is far from being in the core, but I believe it's better than nothing. All right.
Yeah, sure.
So and still, even as an ally, I know almost nothing from the all the subtleties of what it means to be a true, in my eyes, LGBT person. And so, and if I am not so knowledgeable about it when I am an ally, I can't imagine people that are not even allies, at least in their opinion. There's so much so much unknown, so many people that have absolutely no clue. And usually, and it's exactly what you mentioned, when we tend to be adverse to difference. On rule of thumb, we've been wired, from our caveman ancestors, we're wired to be extremely cautious with anything
Yes.
off tracks, anything that would be out of the ordinary. Out of the ordinary could mean death, or
Exactly.
excruciating pain, or very bad
Yeah.
outcomes. So we've been
Different,
wired.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's like
difference
difference
means,
equals danger.
or at least potential danger, and we have still that hardware in us. And so most people don't even realize that they tend to be adverse to difference because of that, and they have no clue. They don't even realize that. And I feel what is very interesting in the LGBT situation is we're talking about a difference around sexuality and intimacy. So something that by definition is very intimate, very, very personal, very deep. So it makes sense. Many people could be triggered by it. I'm not saying it's a good thing. I'm not saying it's an excuse once again, but I feel it's a very good explanation that some people could go, yeah, it could be too much for them. And I believe one of the first steps to help the people that are not in the LGBT community would be to educate. At least it's my point of view, because when it's one of the best ways to dissolve difference and to dissolve fear of the unknown. When you start to know the unknown is not so
And this part, so excuse me, Kevin, this part is interesting because this education is not only for the people to accept the difference, but is also about self-acceptance. This part of the queer community feeling loneliness, what I really feel that there is behind that is guilt and shame, because they really feel there's something wrong with them, as I felt there was something wrong with me. Oh, come on. Single mother at 50 years old, now coming out as a queer person? No, please. Once I accepted myself, then all changed in my life. And not only in my intimacy and my sexuality, but also in all other areas of my life. And it's about self-acceptance. When I could just sit with myself and say, okay, this is who I am. This is my truth. This is me. And I accept myself. Not 95%. I accept 100%. It was a big relief. And you can think that there is no relationship between those two areas, but what really helped me with this self-acceptance was working in my spirituality. I remember that it was during a meditation, really connecting with myself and allowing, let's say, my guides to help me to understand what was going on in my life. and also connecting with death, I realized, okay, I will die one day. Life has a deadline. And we are not like yogurts with the date written, the expiry date. I don't know if I will die in 5 minutes or in 50 years. So knowing that this life experience will end, and I don't care if you think that this life is just one of millions of lives we live, or you think that after death there's nothing, or this is just, let's say, the very first chapter, but the real life starts after death. It doesn't matter. The real thing is that this life experience we have now, this body I am using now, will end. So this really helped me to understand, okay, I am having a human experience, a physical experience. Am I ready to live my life? Or should I continue living, following others' rules, other expectations? No, it's my own life. I want to experience what I really want and what I really am. And next time in another life, I will do it differently. But I will know what it is to be Maria Elena in this life.
I love that. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
There is a part of freedom, and also there is a part of fear. Okay, what it is to be Maria Elena. There are some parts I still don't know. Okay, so accept that fear and move on, and let's see what happens. And that really changed my life, Kevin. That really changed this life experience I'm having right now with you.
Yeah, and it makes so much sense. And yeah, you know, I'm 1,000% on board with that. You know how I'm the same. I'm all for enjoying having it all. I don't see the point of having, you know, a life of grind and just, you know, doing chores so we can save money and just you know, and just get by and transmit all of that to our children or grandchildren. Like, no, life is made, at least in my book. Once again, I don't want to push my beliefs, but I strongly believe that life is made to be enjoyed. It's made to be. It's a ride. It's an amazing ride, and yes, sometimes some parts are more difficult than others. Sometimes we get seasick in a way. Sometimes it's not. It doesn't feel so enjoyable. But we make that that way. Actually, I strongly believe we have the possibility to transform, to transmute our experience, and it's really an inner game. And I love how you describe that, you know. And yeah, I would love for you to explain a little bit how did you manage that? How were you able to claim that? Yeah, just before we go, I would love to invite once again our nice attendees here. Henrietta, hey, thank you so much for joining, and I see Virginia joined as well. Thank you so much, guys. If you have any questions you would love to ask Maria Elena, please do. We will go only for 10 to 15 minutes. So you don't have that much time if you want to ask a question. I know Oli asked a question earlier about books, but I will get back to it. But yeah, I feel it would be very powerful for our friends here to know what helped you free yourself, what helped you accept yourself for you are who you are? Was it a process? Did you have steps? Did you have like epiphanies? What are the kind of tools did you use? What happened?
Coaching was really helpful for me. To be coach and to coach myself. I feel that I learn when I receive coaching and when I coach someone. But again, this is this spirituality, knowing that I am here to live my life, not anyone else's life. And again, this deep trust that there's nothing wrong with me. I'm not broken. There's nothing to fix. That was the process.
And did you have any tools that helped you practically to get there, to accept yourself?
I think it's an inner work and a really personal path. So I cannot give any specific tool that can fit anyone because all of us are different, luckily. But I will invite anyone interested in that in really start with this inner work, this inner process. Who am I? What I really want? What I like? Not what people around me feel that I need, but what I really need.
I love that. Yeah, go ahead.
You know, during so many years, I was following other people's dreams. You know, I have the idea that I just dreamed the dreams I was allowed to dream. So as a middle-class European woman, when I was a teenager, my dreams were, okay, go to college, have a degree, find a good job, then marry a man, of course, and have 2 children. Okay, I did everything waiting for happiness to come. I did all the steps and happiness was not there. So, and I didn't understand that. So I start blaming the environment, you know. I divorced my husband because I think, okay, I chose the wrong one. And it was not that because happiness didn't came. Okay, so maybe it's the job. Let's find another job. It was not the job. And what I realized, okay, this is about me, not about the environment. This is about, let's say, understanding me, not fixing me, but understanding me. And really talk to myself what I really want, what I really need, what I am here for. There must be something else than just working and raising a family, and there's nothing wrong with that, you know, but maybe there is an explanation why I am here now in this life experience.
Yeah. I really love that, and there are actually many ways to explore that. Once again, Vishen Lakhiani has those 3 most important questions, which are absolutely stunning, extremely helpful to know what we want to make out of this life. The life book framework, it's absolutely amazing to craft our life vision and to serve as a North Star and a scaffolding to build it. There are many ways to do that, but yeah, we are running out of time. That's the thing. It's really funny. We just scratched the surface. I feel we could go for 2 full hours easily, but we won't do that, guys. We respect your time and we respect our own time. So we will just plan a new episode in the future.
Okay.
And before we go there, so first I would love to say hi to Lydia and Wendy. And thank you so much to both of you for joining. I really appreciate. Yeah, I love your support always. And yeah, let's explore that because I talked a lot already. So let's ask. So yeah, we had a couple of questions already. So we had Oli. So just so you know, I would love to explore also what you're working on these days and what excites you. So I would love to finish with that. So if we could already give a bite-sized answer to those questions, and if they want to go deeper, then they can reach out to me.
About this question of the books that I recommend, more than a book, I recommend you to follow a transgender non-binary person on social media, Alok. I will give you the, because I don't remember now the full name, but I will post after in the comments. This is a great person that I really love. Some of the most intelligent people I met. And they are transgender non-binary people can choose the pronoun they want to be called by, and Alok wants to be called as they, so they is a really great, amazing person. I will post that in the comments. And okay, family arriving. And I forgot the other question, Kevin.
No worries. I just put it here. So it's a longer one. Can you read it? What's your wisdom for late
in life queer folks who are seeing their life crumble because they are trying to be who they are? Yeah, that grief is also real. As I told you before, I discovered my sexual life in my 50s. I feel that it's never too late. But I can understand that there is a feel of grief, that that identity that I thought I had is not my actual identity. And we are all changing, we are all evolving, and it is okay. But this release of guilt and shame and this acceptance of grief is also important. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for those 2 answers. And I feel especially the second one could deserve a longer time to answer. But let's keep that one for our next conversation. Or I don't know. So we can't. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, now I remember what you were asking me about. What am I working right now?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I start working with a really special kink community that I really love, and I'm enjoying having with them, because there is a yes, because they feel really lonely. They feel that there's something wrong with them, and I'm start with a group coaching with them and really helping this self-acceptance, as I said before, and I'm really enjoying that. I really feel that this is my way to expand love in the world. That was one of my, I feel that my mission in that life is to help people to love themselves in a big way. And this is my starting point, helping people, or more than helping, let's say inspiring people to love themselves fully. And because if you don't love yourself, you cannot love anyone. Start by loving yourself fully and then spread that love everywhere.
Yeah, I believe like it's super cliche, right? We all have heard that one. I believe that before loving someone, we better love ourselves, all right? And
Yes.
if we don't love ourselves, we are unable to love someone else. I don't
Exactly.
entirely agree with that. I believe it's possible to love someone else even if we don't love ourselves, but it's much much harder, and we're missing out so much. I really believe, like in any specific type of relationship, we want to start with ourselves, and we don't have to to build ourselves entirely 100% before starting to love someone else. It doesn't have to be one and then the other. We can build it on the go, both of them. And actually, I believe by having interactions with someone else, we also can love ourselves better, or have feedback that can help us with that journey. And it's exactly what I explore in my program, right? I will talk a little more about that tomorrow in the masterclass. It's all about becoming our own best friend.
Yes.
And if we want to create a wonderful collection of friends around us, if we want to create a dream team of amazing, exceptional friends around us, it starts with us. We want to be one of those amazing BFFs. It's extremely important, and it makes sense. Like for any situation, for our intimacy, it's the same. We want to. How could you imagine having a healthy intimacy relationship with someone if you don't have an amazing intimacy relationship with yourself?
With
How
yourself.
could it ever work? It doesn't make any sense.
Yes.
So yeah. So guys, I hope you enjoyed the conversation. Obviously, it's the first of a series of conversations. We just got started. We're just warming up here. As you've seen, guys, there's still a lot to explore, a lot to do. Thank you so much for listening, for sharing, for commenting. We really appreciate your presence, guys. We love you so much. So we had many hounds of business members, pack members here, but not only houndies, also other peeps. And if you're watching that recording, I hope you're enjoying it as well, and feel free to come live if you can next time. So next time I have the pleasure to announce I will welcome Mike Ashabrunner, our big dog pack leader of the hounds. So I'm very very excited as well. It's going to be extremely different. We are going into redneck territories and finances with a twist. So totally different, but that's cool. That's the beauty of things. There are so many flavors of Misfits. There are so many different people that make their uniqueness shine bright. And thank you so much, Maria Elena. I love what you're doing.
My
What you're
pleasure.
doing is so important for yourself, for the LGBT people you help, for the kink people you help, all those beautiful people that deserve to be loved as well. They deserve to let their uniqueness shine bright. it's so very important. And yeah, thank you for that. And thank you for being you. You're wonderful. I want to hug you right now, but it will have to wait. Exactly.
Thank you so much, Kevin. Always a pleasure to be with you.
Yeah, so until next time, and yeah, I can't wait. Thank you again for accepting my invitation, and talk to you very soon.
Thank you so much.